fought each other when they were amateurs. Andre Berto meets Jonathan Tubbs again in a bout scheduled for 8. And looking at Andre Berto, he turned pro only a year ago after a sparkling amateur career that included a trip to the 2004 Olympics for Haiti and a U.S. National Golden Gloves Championship. Berto's only 22. He's aggressive, throws lots of punches, and hits hard with both hands. He's still untested as a pro, though, is coming off 3 straight first-round KOs and is 9-0 with 7 wins coming by knockout. Steve, what's behind his numbers?
Andre, good move wearing the Tatupu jersey. Left is all right. Tubbs is a southpaw, but 3 of Berto's 9 opponents have been lefties. He's KO'd all of them, so apparently no problem. Andre times 3. Berto's fought only 22 rounds as a pro, but that's not that alarming. Compare that number to the other Andres from the class of '04. Andre Ward, 24 rounds. Andre Durrell, only 15. And Welter Skelter. Berto is thick and heavily muscled. He's yet to make the welter limit, but if he can reduce a little more, he'll presumably be even more devastating.
Jonathan Tubbs is 23. He's been boxing 15 years. He beat Berto in the Silver Gloves when they were barely teenagers, fought in the Junior Olympics and Golden Gloves, and won 184 amateur fights before turning pro about 2 years ago. Tubbs is a southpaw, as Steve mentioned, boxer, puncher, good hand speed, works off the jab, uses the ring. His challenge is to stop Berto's momentum and carry the fight into the later rounds. Tubbs has never been past 6, though, and he's also undefeated. 7-0-1, 3 knockouts. Steve, take us behind the numbers.
Career buster. Since facing Tubbs, not one of his 8 foes has won a single fight. His opponents have been inexperienced, unaccomplished, and inactive. Spar stars. Tubbs has somewhat compensated for the lack of names on his record by sparring with Miguel Cotto, Zab Judah, and Arturo Gatti. And get busy. Tubbs fought only 3 times in 2005 to 8 fights for Berto. If Tubbs is going to be serious, Nick, he needs to get seriously active.
And barring a draw, somebody's going to get beat for the first time as a pro. Will Andre Berto continue his KO spree, or can Jonathan Tubbs box his way to another win? A battle of unbeatens is first up. So let's go now to ring announcer Joe Antonacci.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Northern Quest Casino here in Airway Heights, Washington for Showbox, the new generation. Tonight's bout is brought to you by DeBella Entertainment in association with Dash DeBella Promotions, Banner Promotions, ProKeds, and Showtime. Tonight's action is sanctioned by the State of Washington Department of Licensing. Introducing first the 3 judges at ringside, Barry Drucksmann, Glenn Hamada, and Alan Krebs. And our referee for this bout will be Jeff Macaluso. Boxing fans, this bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of action in the welterweight division. Presenting first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black trunks and weighed in at 147 pounds. His record, 7 victories, no losses, 1 draw, 3 knockouts. He comes to us tonight from Rochester, New York. Please welcome Jonathan Tubbs. And fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing blue trunks, and he weighed in at 148 pounds. He entered the ring with a perfect record of 9 victories, no defeats, 7 wins by knockouts. From Winter Haven, Florida, please welcome Andre Berto.
Chief seconds. Chief seconds. Chief second. Come on, Chief second. All right, gentlemen, you've been given your pre-bout instructions in the dressing room. It's an 8-round bout. I want you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands. Any questions? Let's do it.
Zero in on the reach here. You see Tubbs, he better use that 3.5-inch reach advantage. To compete tonight, he needs to be the quintessential quick and slick southpaw.
No 3 knockdown or standing 8 can be saved by the bell and can't be saved by the bell any round. Referee or doctor can stop the fight here in Washington. Jeff Macaluso's ready to get him going. Watch Jonathan Tubbs. He looked tight, big pep talk, trying to stoke him up, Steve. Facing Andre Berto. Why not? This guy hits hard with every punch.
Nick, these two met as amateurs, but they were about 12 years old at the time. Tubbs won the fight. Doesn't mean much right now, obviously.
Well, really want to watch the guy in black. Tubbs, he looks dialed in nicely. That's a real power jab. But he just can't be there in the way of the power shots, and he knows it. He's got to move out, fight quick. Berto taking his time, which is something different, isn't it, Steve?
Well, I think, his last 3 fights were first-round knockouts.
As we said, yes.
But Berto's plan, he said, was to, he knows he's in with a southpaw, wear down Tubbs. That means, I think, a lot of body punching if he can get close enough.
Berto's in the blue. You just saw the double hook.
And those numbers there, these fighters from the same class, but Berto, because he's scoring knockouts, a lot fewer rounds.
Tubbs overextended there. It got hit by a counter from Berto. So Berto may be all about aggression, but a very smart guy, not overextending himself and catching Tubbs that way. Big right hand seemed to rock Tubbs.
Punch or get out.
Tubbs wisely tying up, but he's got to get out of that corner. Tubbs hands high. Will the body be open? Berto with hands low, looking for the openings.
And Nick, you know what impresses me so much about Berto? He's a puncher and he's heavily muscled, yet he's very loose and relaxed in there.
That's a good point. I don't know, he throws every punch, though, full-blooded shots. He talked about really trying to be more selective, and Tubbs said maybe he'll play himself out that way, but he's got to make him miss, Steve. Tubbs doing a pretty fair job of moving, and again, as we said, fighting quick. Punch and get out.
I'll tell you what, though, Berto hasn't turned up the heat yet.
Not at all.
That's going to take a round or two.
Why do you think that is, Steve? He has KO'd, but he's just walked over the last 3 guys.
Well, I think he respects his opponent. Hey, this guy's undefeated. Berto hasn't fought anybody really yet either. So he's taking his time.
Oh, boy, that big right hand pushed Tubbs back. Tubbs on the move there, took that semi-flush. He was turning a little bit, but he got hit with another right hand. And that seems to be the punch that has dialed in for Andre Berto. And now Tubbs is in trouble, electing not to hang on and move out. But Berto is in full force forward gear right now. A left and a right. Tubbs not tying up Berto at all.
Heck of a chin for Tubbs, but I'll tell you what, his legs don't look good at all.
Spirited first round. We're ready to close it out here. And Tubbs will get out of it.
Stop.
I think the kid got by the first round, but he's doing the wrong thing. He's trying to bang with him.
He made it out the first.
Okay, push down. Okay, how your hands feel?
You gotta be more patient with this guy. Work on that job, baby. We spoke about it, baby. We spoke on that. Work on the job. Work on the job. Get comfortable. Feel the ground.
Got a big roll in my
Stay on the jab, baby. Stay on the jab. Move your head. Give him lateral, baby. When I stay there.
Action from round 1, all Andre Berto. You see, he doesn't have any trouble getting inside. And boy, that left hook, I don't know how Tubbs stayed up. Tubbs showing a good chin, but not much else. Not much elusiveness once Berto was close. That was the key. Another look. You see Tubbs dips right there, almost goes down. And I'll tell you, when Andre Berto hurts you, he knows what to do. He's a finisher.
Go. Down. On 2 seconds out.
I really like in Berto is that he landed a lot of counters. He just keeps throwing punches. Tubbs' corner imploring him to stay on the jab. And again, he's got to move and create those new punching opportunities quickly, because they're going to be few and far between for him offensively. He's got to make everything count, Steve. This guy is like a train coming at him.
And I wonder if it's bothering Tubbs that Berto's sort of just keeping that left hand loose and sticking it in the way of the jab.
Right.
It's throwing Tubbs' timing off, I think.
Really looking to land that right. There a hook taken partially on the gloves by Tubbs. But Tubbs electing to stand in a little bit, take some chances. He pokes a right jab to the face, and another one lands. So Tubbs looks a lot more relaxed than I had anticipated. He is obviously cautious, knowing Berto's the bigger puncher. Both undefeated. These are welterweights. Fighting at 148, though, is Berto, so they're using 10-ounce gloves rather than the standard 8-ounce for welterweights. Big punching from Berto, but Tubbs staying very much within himself. Not much offense as he paused with the jab. He's really got to drill it to stop some of that forward momentum.
Berto goes to the body a little bit more. I think that'll hasten the end of this fight.
Berto trying to walk down Tubbs. Tubbs trying to give him some movement, and now spinning out and starting again. Tubbs in black. They want him to use the jab. Instead, he absorbed punishment, and he's down. Right hand put him down. It was a flurry.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So that was a flurry, but the right finished the job. Another right hand. Tubbs now fighting, taking more chances, it looks like, gathering himself up, but electing to go and try to duke it with this guy.
And now Tubbs is moving back as he jabs. He is a little gun shy, and with good reason.
Gun shy, but you wonder how it hurts. But how many more shots like that can you take?
And Berto using that age-old formula against the southpaw. That straight right hand is getting in again and again.
He's shortening it up beautifully. Yeah, another right hand. They punched it once.
4, 5, 6.
No 3 knockdown rule, as we said.
Hey, how you doing? All right.
Oh, boy. What I love there is Berto just kept throwing. It was Tubbs getting off first, but Berto threw with him, really, and got him on the end, caught him on the end of that combination again. 20 seconds to go in the second. Can Tubbs survive?
Berto's
been
got
down
heavy
twice.
hands, Nick. Wow.
And you talked about the big right, and there it is again, once and again. Picked off partially on the gloves.
5 seconds.
So Tubbs has gathered himself up to fight another round. He's angry with himself as he went to the corner.
Listen, you look at the beginning of the round, baby. You cannot abandon your boxing skills, baby. You gotta keep boxing. You have to keep turning, Bobby. Okay? Keep turning this guy. Keep him on balance.
Don't blow.
You gotta keep him on balance, Bobby. You heard me? You gotta keep him on balance. You can't let him stick.
Action from round 2. I scored the first round 10-8. Well, this is a 10-7 round. You see Berto with the right hand, always works against the southpaw. You know, Tubbs has been moving to his right and trying to change angles, but every time Berto's close, Tubbs isn't moving his head. That's the first knockdown again in round 2. And here's the second knockdown. Watch, they punch at the same time. There's nothing on Tubbs' right hand, Berto's right hand, all power. This very, very impressive offensive showing for Andre Berto.
Yeah, especially the thing you were hitting on, Steve, when he threw that sneaky, really, that lead right hand, he really shortens it up beautifully. It's not coming out of left field by any means. It's really to the mark. It's like a 2-foot, 24-inch, 20-inch punch.
In this fight, he's shown a real good sense of distance. And boy, that second knockdown, you called it. They punched at the same time, but the replay showed nothing on Tubbs' punch.
Step back, step back. Let's
Impressed with Berto's speed, too, because I think Tubbs got fast hands.
You don't want to throw a lazy jab against Berto.
Right. Well, Tubbs was drilling the jab early. He's really got to smoke it now, and he's got to keep moving.
Only thing I'd like to see from Berto, very little body punching.
Well, Tubbs got to control the ring somewhat. He's got to control distance here. He's hopelessly behind, not hopelessly behind. 8-round fight, though. He was obviously down 10-8, 10-7 in that last.
Yeah, that was a 10-7 round, the second round.
So now Tubbs really got to climb out of a huge hole. He's in the black, moving, not punching too much. It had to sting him. He got caught flush by Berto's power. Dropped twice in round 2. Now Tubbs taking a chance as he dips in with a left hand. But the jab is nowhere to be found. Just flicking it out a little bit, just pawing with the right hand. And here comes Berto cutting him off at the pass.
What Tubbs needs to do now is get a little bit of respect from Berto. I don't know that he has the power to do it. His other problem, he's a southpaw, but he's a natural right-hander. I don't think he has the big left hand to send down the middle and tell Berto that Berto's in a fight.
Right, and switching up wouldn't be the answer, you think, huh?
No, Berto would adjust. He's seen every style there is.
Berto's got him going and hits him with a left. Tubbs didn't take it completely full force because he was moving away. And now a hammering right followed by a left and a right to the top of the head. And Tubbs is up immediately.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huh? You okay? Yeah. All right. Can't take too many more of those.
Exactly right. The referee, Chef Macaluso. Over a half minute to go, and that right hand has struck again.
I'd say any more significant punishment, knockdown or no knockdown.
Okay, let's go.
Ref should call this fight. Or the corner.
Now Tubbs trying to put something together to keep Berto off him. But it looks hopeless. He's down again and in front of us.
It's a slip. Slip.
All right, rule to slip.
You guys over? All right, over here.
They've called it. Exactly, Steve. Corner puts an end to it. I got to give it to Tubbs. He had a lot of courage. Up immediately, especially from that crushing last knockdown that took so much out of him.
Yeah, the referee ruled that last one a slip. I'm really not sure. It looked like a punch to me, but the corner was in the ring.
Yeah, it was academic, absolutely. Tubbs down 3 times in the fight.
Good work, guys. Very good work, John. Hey, corner. Good work, baby. Good work, man.
Jonathan Tubbs, happily not hurt here. Definitely had his world rocked. He was down 3 times officially in this fight.
And Nick, what we saw, there's the winner, and what we saw is why, even when he was an amateur, people were so high on Andre Berto. He's got a pro style, he's aggressive, pinpoints his punches.
I'll be back home. And my little sister Nana, Edson, everybody watching. My brother's Maestro.
If they were watching, they had to watch pretty quick. Actually, his last 3 fights finished in first-round knockouts. This one went into the 3rd. As you said, Steve probably had more regard for Jonathan Tubbs, who again showed me a lot of courage, but his boxing skills really not enough to weather the storm that was Andre Berto tonight.
Now, he had nothing coming back. Never got the respect of Berto, and it became target practice very quickly.
Everybody used to holding me down, Matt. All my people in California, LA.
I thought that, again, as Berto says hello to the world here, that showed me a lot of things, Steve, in terms of really being more selective and not throwing more punches than he really needed to, making everyone count this time.
That's the pro style.
So the learning process continues. This guy turned pro just over a year ago. He moves to 10-0, 8 stoppages, and 25 total rounds. Remember this as a pro. So a long way to go for Andre Berto. But at this rapid clip, if he stays in the gym, keeps fighting the way he has, looks like he's got a future.
Oh, yeah, yeah. His future is now.
Joe Antonacci's going to make this one very official.
Boxing fans, the time, 2 minutes and 44 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by technical knockout from Winter Haven, Florida, Andre Berto.
As we said, Berto moves to 10-0, 8 KOs, 25 total rounds as a professional now. And just about every one of them impressive, Steve. We've called some fights of his in the past, been ringside with him. And again, progression here. I thought he was match tough against a guy who I thought would be scared. We had heard the word that he looked absolutely cold for this fight and wary of the prospect of this guy, and with good reason, though, as it showed. Tubbs went down 3 times in this.
So, yeah, Tubbs got hurt at the end of the first round. This is the second round. And look at his head snap back from that straight right. Berto throws pretty short punches. Same thing. Watch how short this right hand is. Straight and short. It wasn't like he cocked his right hand. He just threw it straight, right on the button. And I think the reason he didn't body punch much is because he was so successful hitting to the head. Again, a straight right hand, no head movement from Tubbs. Not a good idea. Watch the right hand. They throw punches at the same time. Tubbs tried to throw a right hand It was a little wide. Berto's right got there faster. And now Berto's not throwing it all to the body here. Doesn't have to. How the referee ruled that a slip, I will never know. That's clearly a knockdown. Oh, here's the slip. I'm sorry. I think I called that incorrectly. This is the end of the fight. Oh, that's a punch. You're going to see it again. Referee Macaluso called this a slip. It's kind of a moot point because the corner went in the ring. They thought the fight was over. And you see a right to the side of the head. The corner starts climbing the stairs. Now Macaluso is waving that it was a slip, but that's really immaterial because the fight's over. The corner was correct to stop the fight. Nick, two quick observations about Berto. One is he got down to 148 for this fight. He's been higher. He's going to be devastating as a welterweight because if he could stay at 147, that's where he belongs. And two, even though Tubbs wasn't successful tonight, I think that's the blueprint for how to fight Berto. You have to give him movement, and you have to outspeed him. He just didn't have the power to get some respect.
Yeah, he didn't because he wasn't strictly a runner. But my impressions on Berto, a couple of things as well. I really loved his footwork. The way he closed the gap and cut off the ring on this guy. He fought a southpaw perfectly. Had him moving. He was moving to the left and rather to the right. Didn't let this guy move him around and shorten up that right perfectly. It didn't come out of nowhere. And, man, he connected absolutely with conviction here. A very impressive performance. Andre Berto now 10-0, 8 knockouts.